welcome to the Bad Guy Reviews, where good movies rise and bad ones burn, and well, it is Christmas time. Fucking yay. Am I excited? Pretty much, but I can't yell much because, my stepdad's here, but we'll just not worry about that. And welcome to my first of 12 days of Christmas movies, where I, myself, will review 12 Christmas movies going all the way up to Christmas. And we're starting out with a shade one, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to review a movie that I wish would have done good just because of how funny and dumb it is, but failed poorly. That being The Me One. And yes, it is what you think it is when you first hear it. It is a Grinch horror movie. I repeat, it is a Grinch horror movie. So how does that work? Simple. They just didn't have the rights to the Grinch, so they had to make it it's not because of that, but it's a low budget. Why? I'll tell you. Because at first it started out just as a tiny little joke, as like a short film with someone dressed up like a Grinch in a Grinch costume and pretending that they're the Grinch and being killers and all. And they did the trailers, and then when they posted on YouTube, they were like, "Great! So when does it come out?" And of course, they had to do Kickstarter and do the best, I repeat, the best that they could do. And I'd say they did decently. Pretty decently. What I mean by that? Well, simple. Let me tell you about it. So let's dig into the Me One and show you if the Grinch was a great Me One or a shade Me One. So the movie begins right where how the Grinch stole Christmas would immediately left off. Not when his heart grew 3 sizes that day yet, but technically when he met with Cindy, the you know who, not Cindy who, Cindy you know who. Why do we have to say that? It's because, as like I said, they didn't have rights to the Grinch. And so the whole Cindy you know who was talking with the mean one is what we're gonna have to call him, since, fuck it, I'll call him the Grinch. Even though he's not the Grinch, I'll just call him the Grinch because he's supposed to be the Grinch. So the Grinch has Cindy you know who's his tiny little head and lets her scurry off to bed, and while he steals Christmas. But that night, he thought his heart grew 3 sizes that day. And that's what we all thought. But they show us what really happened in Cindy you know who's place. And that is his mother comes in and like any normal person was seeing some green monster in a Santa Claus outfit in your home trying to steal your Christmas stuff, including the tree. And that's to get pissed and panic. But after a back and forth shoving match, he pushes her and she falls and lands on the nutcracker decoration, which stabs her right in the neck. Then Cindy who screams out "monster," and then it cuts to 20 years later for some reason, showing the hill of Whoville. But that's the only time you're gonna see it in this movie, cause they never show it again, ever. And they did show Cindy you know who's father, if you're curious. But I know you're wondering, if they're called the you know who families, does that mean the town's called you know whoville? Nope. It's just called Newville. And that's that. And there were times where where the officer keep his eye on Sidney You Know Who and his father because they warned him that they shouldn't have Christmas stuff in Newville. Why? Why? Because Grinch. Fucking Grinch. Hell, they even show a flashback showing Sidney You Know Who and the cops covering up this little mess and saying that it's just a Christmas killer and monsters aren't real at all. And I'll admit, yeah, Grinch is pretty much a Christmas killer if you think about it, because, he steals Christmas, but, yeah. So, Sidney, You Know Who and her father gets to their old house where their mom died. After celebrating a big Christmas in there, there's Sidney You Know Who was accidentally locked out of the house and saw his father, Loon You Know Who, get attacked and soon killed by the Grinch. But yeah, and when Sidney You Know Who tries talking about the green monster, they can and of course they get mad about it because they don't want that kind of language in their freaking town. And while Sidney You Know Who goes out on fields and such looking stuff, or taking pictures and stuff, he soon ends up encountering with the Grinch and even seeing the Grinch kill some guy named Daryl, and she realizes he's real. And I'll admit, despite this movie being on a low budget, the makeup looks really good. Because he looks like what the Grinch was looked like in the cartoon version and in Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas movie. Also, yeah, link to the description below if you want to see that by guy reviews of Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And yeah. Though, instead of Jim Carrey, he's actually played by David Howard Thornton in this version, who is also Art the Clown and Terrifier. Will I review those movies? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And it's just because of how... I don't even think I should call it gory, just because of how fucking gruesome it is. And of course, when she tries convincing the cops, they don't want to believe her and tries shutting her mouth up. Meanwhile, there's a different part of Newville. A van drives into town with a sign that says SantaCon. And here's a fun fact for anyone who hasn't lived in New York or just any place that does this thing. But SantaCon is in fact a real thing where a bunch of thousands of people dress up like Santa Claus and just parties. Because it's Christmas. So let's get fucking drunk. But yeah. So they go to the bar, they have a party, but one lady who I think works there when goes to the back to get some more ice or something, I'm not sure. But sees one Santa Claus dude is dead in the room. And of course it's because the Grinch finally comes out by the diner of the bar and goes on a killing spree, which unfortunately, yes, have some very, very bad CGI gore. Poor Grinch. And yeah, and since who ends up being chased by the Grinch or someone else, I don't know, by the Grinch, and of course he ends up stumbling or accidentally punching on this new guy in the movie named Doc Seuss. Get it? Dr. Seuss? Doc Seuss? Hey, don't blame me, blame the movie. But yeah, and I know, it sounds completely dumb. But then again, this movie, The Grinch, was based off Dr. Seuss, so how do y'all think they're gonna pay an homage to that whole guy? Oh, and yes, I'm using my phone or something. And it's taking long, so yeah. And at a different part, my ad, Cindy, who and Doc Seuss does talk about this about the Grinch. And there was even 2 times where they nearly said the Grinch, but of course, the bartender screamed us out for some guy named Fitch. And funnily enough, the bartender, she was actually played by the Grinch, the same actor who is the Grinch's mother. Well, one of the Grinch's biological mothers in Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which I think was a very brilliant idea to get her on board for this movie, because why the fuck not? Hell, had she been the Grinch's mother in this version, maybe she could talk about what the Grinch to Cindy who. That kind of would have made more sense and make this movie just a little more better than what you get. But yeah, then after one nightmare where Cindy, who was like kissing an officer she has a crush on that isn't believing her story, which of course he gets killed in the dream by the Grinch, and she decided she had enough, so she was gonna train her ass off to get ready to fight the Grinch. However, while he's busy, he's a chef in a bar, and a chef named Don was, I think, trying to do something, but the Grinch visits by, and like in one scene from the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, he scurries his little fingers and tippy toes all on the floor and grabs a cleaver, and of course, his head hard. And yes, this is, and this is the only kill I think with like pretty good gore. And then Sydney, who finally finds out the truth about this monster. And that is that apparently, when Mayor McBeans found out about the Grinch killing people left and right, just because he hates Christmas, they decided that they'll stop celebrating Christmas by sacrificing some hitchhiker or some mountain climbers, and let them get freed by the Grinch in his cave. And that's why there was so many missing people here and there throughout the movie. Oh, and by the way, did I ever told you that the Grinch never ever talks in the movie? ever. Because he does not. He roars like a monster, but he never says a letter. And this is where we're gonna give you. I'm gonna give you one more fun fact about the movie, and that's that Dr. Seuss isn't the only one that's a reference to Dr. Seuss, because there are some stuff that are referenced of Dr. Seuss's classic books, like the sneezes and other stories. One fish, two fish from One Fish, Two Fish, Red Bush, or no, sorry, I meant a red fish and a blue fish from One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. And one scene where Sidney, who finds an ID card from Walter Moulter, which is a reference that might be to think that I saw on Mulberry Street by Dr. Seuss himself as well. And yeah, even in one scene when Sidney who was getting ready to fight against the Grinch, she even made story reference of the Grinch by talking about how his head is screwed on loose, or his shoes are too tight. And yeah, though unfortunately Mayor McBean does die, or Mrs. Mayor McBean. He does die by the Grinch. And another one kill from a girl named Stephanie who had her eyes up after having like bows, like present bows on her eyes. Yes, I know that's freaking gross. But yeah, after a few kills, especially from the Sheriff Hooper, after a kill from he got killed as well. Sidney who and the Grinch finally has a fight, but during the fight, unfortunately, Doc Seuss has died. Rest in peace, Doc Seuss. I hope you was buried right next to Dr. Seuss. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'll just get back into this. So yeah, the Grinch and Sidney who does have a big fight, which led all the way into the house. And Sidney who ends up seeing the same necklace that she gave the Grinch to in the beginning of this whole hullabaloo before her mom died and she called her monster. And yes, that shows that the Grinch really didn't mean to kill his mom, and after when she calls the Grinch a monster, or when she was a kid, of course he just went with it. He got pissed and went with that role. And after she forgave the Grinch, he gives him a kiss on the cheek, and he was surprised. And then once again, his heart grew 3 sizes that day. And then and this is the part where it is one of, if not my favorite, funniest kills ever. The Grinch's heart does grew 3 sizes that day, but so much so it popped and he died. Ha ha ha. Like, yes, this sounds so dumb, but come on, you can't laugh at that. Because y'all know it would have happened in the original if they made that realistic. So yeah. And after the Grinch's death, they finally slowly bring Christmas back in Newville. Including doing a reference to the famous meme where they show an odd amateur sketch of like a leprechaun, and then including the one dude being like, "Oh, what do we look like? Leprechaun? What do we? Who else? Yeah." And of course they chant, and yeah, they did the same thing in this version, but with the Grinch and all. Huh. And then, of course, since it's a low budget film, they show stock footage of the freaking Newville that's not, or Christmas stock footage that just, is in Newville. And I know this is so bad, but basically, this is like Hallmark horror bad. And yes, I am serious. This is basically Hallmark horror bad, if you can tell. And yeah, and the movie ends with Sydney You Know Who and her boyfriend making out under the mistletoe, but I kind of forgot her boyfriend was because the movie was bad. And that was the me one. Unfortunately, it fucking blows. I really wish this movie was so damn great. Just because it could have. But, of course, it's not. But yeah. But stay tuned for next time, as for tomorrow, for the next 12 days of Christmas movie, where I'm going to review a movie that celebrates its 60th anniversary. Stay tuned to find out what that is, and thank you for watching. Please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all next time for 12 days of Christmas movies. Bye, y'all.